All right, so it's early morning in the mountains of Santa Cruz, California in the USA. Late fall, early winter. Can't quite see my breath, but not too far off. It's pretty chilly this morning. And I wanted to take you for a little bit of a walk and share with you one of the many lessons and gifts that we've received from our path since arriving here in the US. And this lesson has actually not arrived from the forest, but from my new phone, my Android phone. Now, I've had a mobile phone for quite a while, but I have usually had a pretty crap one, just real basic kind of $39 number because I'm just not that into them. But since we came, I thought, might as well get a pretty nice one that we can have a bit of fun with. And the one I got actually came loaded with the movie Avatar, which is pretty cool because it's a good movie. And it's also got other bells and whistles like a GPS system. Now, just recently I've started playing with the GPS and letting the kind female voice of the GPS system guide us to some of the places that we need to go. And there's something that I've recognized and come to learn about the GPS system that's a pretty powerful parallel to our life. Now, I've actually listened to Abraham, the teaching of Abraham. They talk about their GPS system in their big camper a little bit. They talk about how it matches and aligns with their emotional guidance system, and how when they step or drive off the highlighted route, the GPS system sort of talks to them and says, please return to the highlighted route, sort of as a sign of our emotional system kind of pulling us or guiding us back into a more harmonious way of being. And my GPS system is a little bit different than that, and it's maybe a little bit more like life for me anyway at this stage. And so I want to tell you a little bit about it. Basically, the way it works is that like with any GPS system, you got to start by putting in your intention or your a clear direction. And with my GPS, you can do it with your voice. So you tell it, this is where I want to go, and it interprets that. And then they calibrate, and she begins to tell you directions as to where you want to go, one step at a time. And the cool thing about this is that if you stray from the path, the interesting thing about this is that if you stray from the path, if you take a wrong turn or if you go left when you should have gone right, I've noticed that the GPS system doesn't say, hey, please return to the highlighted route. Do a U-turn. Go back. You did it wrong. All it does is it just takes a moment to recalibrate, and it kind of like thinks for a moment, and then it just starts giving you directions from wherever you are. It just meets you where you are. It doesn't matter what direction you're facing or where you're going. It just says, okay, well, here's where you are now. So given the intention and the place that you want to go, let's figure out the best way to get you there now from where you are right in this moment. And it's a really cool thing because I think that oftentimes in life when we are heading down a path or moving towards something and we take a turn that maybe in our own mind we perceive as a wrong turn, we spend all this time and energy kind of regretting and kind of thinking, oh man, I messed up, and looking for a way to U-turn or go back or kind of return to the highlighted route. And sometimes that is the highest path, but oftentimes if we're open and if we're willing, life meets us on that path and says, hey, okay, you turned left when I thought you were going to go right, but it doesn't mean it's a different or a wrong path, it's just a different path. And now we're just going to go left up here and left again, and then we're back on a path that's heading towards where you want to go. And maybe it's better scenery. Maybe you'll pass someone along the way that you haven't seen for 10 years. Maybe you'll stop at a cafe and get a bagel, and it'll be the best bagel you've ever had in your life. Maybe there was a reason that you turned left instead of right. And the GPS system, the cool thing about this GPS system is she doesn't judge. She doesn't judge nearly as harshly as we often judge in our own life. And so it's been a pretty cool thing. And the other thing that I really like about it is that she really just guides one step at a time. There's none of this kind of, okay, we're going to go left up here on John Street, and then we're going to turn left or right on Smith Street, and then a few miles later we're going to do this. Just, one step at a time. Be present. Be where you're at. Right now, in about 20 feet, I'm going to come to a fence. And when I do, I'm going to go through that fence. And then we'll see what's on the other side. And that's pretty cool because it's totally in the present, but with this greater vision or this greater perspective or this greater kind of ideal already programmed in. I know where I'm going this morning, and so I come to this fence and I walk through it, and it was a simple direction, and now I'm going to do the next simple direction. I'm going to duck underneath these trees, and I'll be back out in the open meadow, and that's pretty cool. So Those are the two things that I really love about the GPS. No regrets, no judgment, and also just very simple, clear call to the present, one step at a time. But the biggest lesson that I've learned about the GPS system is that unless you actually put in the destination or intention of where you want to go, unless you take a moment to state into the little microphone, I want to go to 42 Capitola Road, or I want to go to John's Milk Bar on High Street, the GPS is silent. It doesn't respond. It doesn't know where to send you. It doesn't know how to guide you, because it's waiting for you to tell it, to guide it where you're going to go and where you want to go. And otherwise, it'll just hold its peace. It'll be quiet and it'll wait. And that is the greatest lesson I've learned, because oftentimes in this life, we can be so caught up reacting and responding and kind of just turning up this street and that street because we're forced to, or we're asked to, or people expect us to, or our role says we should go down this road. But we never stop and say, all right, well, actually, where do I want this GPS to lead me? Where do I want the true voice, the higher current of my life to guide me to today? And this can be true on a microcosmic or a macrocosmic level with our whole entire life, or with a simple moment of time or a day in your week. So today I wanted to just encourage you to take some time just to reflect upon what's the location that you're placing in your GPS of your life. What's the kind of destination point that you're picking each day, or that you've picked today, of where you want to go? Because that's where it starts. It starts with a clear intention. It starts with you being willing and bold enough to say, okay, I'm here right now, standing in the middle of a field, but right now I want to go over there to the freezing cold pool and jump in. And until I have that intention, my feet don't know where to go. I might as well walk over there and walk my face into the electric fence, or stumble into those trees and meet a cougar. But no, I want to go this way. And I gotta state that statement. I gotta hold that statement in my heart. And then I gotta be willing to listen to my body to show me where to go. So that's really what the Moving Mountains journey is really all about. It's about taking a moment on the path to pause long enough to set a clear intention for the GPS of our life system, and then to take some steps forward with that intention, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and physically, and see what that feels like. See how our body responds. See how our life reflects that back to us. See what wisdom comes to us as we step on the path, as we turn to face the sun, as we walk backwards down a dirt road. See what happens. The Moving Mountains journey is designed as a way of building positive rhythms for the way you want to live, for accessing the higher capacities that you came into this life with, and for tapping into that call of true purpose that you signed up for well before you arrived here, and for stepping into that space with absolute clarity and calm peace and passion, knowing that your steps and the path will meet you as you walk along. So I've arrived at the place that I put my GPS to this morning, my freezing cold pool here in this little circle of redwood trees. It's a sort of a community pool, belongs to a few different homes, and it's crystal clear and freezing cold, and a perfect way to begin my day. So I'm going to leave you with this thought. Take a moment right now to set your internal GPS, to set a clear intention for your day, for where you want to end up at the end of the day, how you want to feel when this day is finished and you're settling back into life with your family, or you're dropping into bed or whatever. Set that clear intention and take a moment just to hold the feeling of that intention in your body, and then to just take a calm breath and open your mind to hear whatever guidance may come to you as to the first and clearest and best step towards achieving that in your day-to-day. I look forward to seeing you as the Path of Moving Mountains 2011 opens up, and to welcoming all who feel inspired to come and be a part of the Mountain Guide training program. Aho. Woo! Oh man. Oh. Yeah.